behind the scheduled time, really. We sincerely apologize. But of course, we are here, and of course, we have to hit the ground running. The conversation this afternoon, really, is on the 2027 general elections. A lot of things have happened ahead of the 2027 general elections. Don't forget that there is the contentious e-transfer or e-transmission of results, which, as we speak, is at the National Assembly, and of course, a lot of people, I mean, many Nigerians are actually keeping their fingers crossed to see, what the final verdict is going to be like, from the National Assembly. Don't also forget that I think it was Thursday that the Independent National Electoral Commission reeled out its budget, really, for the 2027 general elections. I think it was also sometimes last week or thereabout, yes, that the Independent National Electoral Commission also ruled out the dates, really, for the elections, fixing the 20th of February 2027 for the National Assembly elections and, of course, the presidential elections. All of these we are going to be looking at, really, also looking at the political dynamics and power play, really, behind the scenes ahead of the 2027 general elections. Now, to do this, or to do justice, really, to all of these, two gentlemen. From my immediate right is Honorable Sikrulai Ogundele, PhD. Well, if I say he's a politician, he is a politician. Of course, if I say he's a veteran politician, he is a veteran politician. Of course, a one-time chairman of the People's Democratic Party in Ogun State, now is an APC stalwart. It's a pleasure having you join us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we are privileged, really, to also have the umpire, INEC, a representative of INEC with us in the studio, Mr. Damilare Ajayi. He is the Public Relations Officer of INEC right here in Ogun State. It's a pleasure having you join us.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Probably we should really begin from the budgetary provision, really, of the Independent National Electoral Commission for the 2027 2027 polls. INEC actually proposed, or is proposing, 873.7.8 billion naira for the elections, and by analysis, that's like a 143% increase, really, from what was spent in 2023. Now, looking at this increase, really, I mean, quite a number of persons, could be alarmed, really, that why 143% increment, really, from what we had just 4 years ago. So what do you think? I mean, I know you might not have been part of those who sat down to prepare the budget, really, but being an insider, what do you think were put into consideration, when this this figure was arrived at?
Again, thank you very much for the opportunity to be on behalf of the Commission, on behalf of the Honorable Rec, who would have also loved to be here, but she couldn't, Mrs. Feijimi Shashe, and then the Administrative Secretary. I bring greetings to you. The budget as reeled out by the Commission. The Commission comprises of the 12 national commissioners, and then the chairman, 13 in number, is the number that makes up the commission. And then sat down, they met, after doing an holistic review of the 2023 general elections. After every election year, the commission meets, and then we also invite stakeholders to come over, and then to a conference, and then we come together to a table to say, in what area have we done well, in what area have we not. So and after that we come up with papers
and then forwarded to their headquarters to let them know. From Ogun State, this is what we have seen. We have seen these lapses, we have seen these laxities in this area. That is akin to this particular factor. And then at the end of the day, the commission holistically take this thing into view. They come up with programs to ensure that those things does not happen again. So some of those things, if you look at the economy as it is, you know that the economy, what the economy is or was as at 2023 is not what the economy is today. The situation of Nigeria's economy is not the same as in 2023. So, and then you want to look at INEC's budget vis-a-vis Nigeria's economy in 2023. Economy, what was the price of petrol as of 2023? Do you understand? If you look at it from that perspective alone, it suggests to you reason for that disparity in the budget of 2027 election and then 2023 elections.
Yeah. No doubt about that. This, I mean, are factors really that would have led to this. But whether we like it or not, it's taxpayers' money, and quite a number of persons will want to raise eyebrow and say, "Oh, this is humongous," just to prosecute just one round or one cycle of election. So now, even if we are going to be releasing this money, some persons feel, yes, if we are releasing this money, the election should be, up there, should be. It might not be 100% transparent. Even if it is 95% transparent, it's okay. So what do you think we should be expecting as individuals? 145% increase. What do you think the people should be demanding from INEC? I mean, considering such humongous amount of money going.
Let me once again thank you so much for having me on board. If you are to talk of, I like the topic concerning INEC, because that's one of the organizations that is giving issues that's in the public discourse.
Yes.
As of today. Considering the perception of people against INEC, I mean, INEC has just got to come up with a kind of image redeem. I mean, coming up to redeem their image. Like I said, I like talking about this topic. INEC has conducted elections, and we have to go by what the PRO said. They have sat down to look at some of the problems facing INEC. First and foremost, INEC need to redeem that image. Just re-echoing it. To an ordinary person in the street, they see INEC as just an organization that's I want to talk like an ordinary person. I don't want to talk like a politician, so that I won't be related to any of the political parties. And they believe that INEC, nothing good can come from INEC. But as we have it today, things are getting changed. And I want to believe the proposal, the financial proposal that being sent to the National Assembly is just a budget, is a proposal. It has not been approved. It has not been implemented. I mean, the implementation of, or the spending of the money has not come up. So it's just a proposal. That's one. Two, as rightly said by my brother, the PRO, INEC, things has really, moved up. in terms of the prices of the materials they are going to use. That's likely to have contributed to the increase. Number two, there are so many bleepish or skirmishes recorded in the last election, and I want to believe they're going to use this money to address all those issues. Like I said, INEC has got to come up to redeem their image, and there are so many things they've got to do.
Do you think by the time this budget proposal hits the National Assembly, really, do you think it should be getting the express approval of members of the House?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Considering that noise, the negative noise over on INEC, like I said, organizations, INEC is the second organization that's been battered in Nigeria. After electricity, the people in charge of electricity. I want to believe INEC is the next person people have this misconception. I want to put it as misconception because they are doing their best and they are putting up all what they could to conduct free, fair election. And there is no way we could have free, fair election in an environment where people are not properly informed, people are not well acquainted with the intrigues and the antics of the process. One of the reasons why we are having problems in Nigeria today is just the management of our information. Information are not properly managed. People are not well informed. That's why we are having voter apathy in this country today. We got over 90-something thousand, but something million people registered. INEC got 95 million people registered, and in our all elections, the best we could have was 25 million. So there is much to do in, there are so much in the hands of INEC that one is expecting them to do.
Well, some persons might disagree with you that it's about misinformation, but it's more of what you said earlier.
No, I didn't say misinformation. I said people have got to be well informed.
Yes.
Well informed. For them to be able to know what to do at the appropriate times.
Don't you think it has to do with, it has to do more with what you mentioned earlier, which has to do with the image, the credibility of the process? That's what people are in doubt of, and then makes them to
This is exactly what I'm saying. People, INEC need now to debunk that impression.
Okay.
INEC has to, come up to the people to let them know what they are bringing on board, the credibility of their processes.
Now, talking about credibility of the process, one sure measure that even it was INEC that introduced it, and many have come to even laud INEC for that initiative. But ever since it has been introduced, it has not really been fully put to use, as a matter of fact, and that is the issue of the e-transmission of election results from polling units. Now, this same issue has caused some contentious reactions, really, on the floor of the National Assembly. The National Assembly saying, not giving blanket approval for e-transmission. According to the Senate President and majority of those at the National Assembly, the Senate, they said Nigeria is not ripe enough. Saying that no less than 9 local governments, in the country do not really have network services, and even there is epileptic power supply in all of these areas, and so it might be difficult to have election results, being transmitted electronically from the polling units. But do you think, as as an insider, do you think we have what it takes to carry out this electronic transmission? Because these were the issues that came up even way back before the 2023 election. But INEC was insisting that we have the capacity, we have what it takes to transmit election results from the polling unit.
Thank you so much again for the question. Let me begin from the last issue raised by the Honorable. Now, when you are talking about credibility, what way do you want INEC to be credible? Now, credibility of our elections, is it that INEC didn't conduct the elections properly? A whole lot is involved in the electioneering process that largely affects the outcome of an election. When the election favors a politician, INEC has done well. When it does not favor a particular group of people, INEC has not done well. Now, you agree with me that in this same country, in this same region, the incumbent they have lost elections to the opposition in this same region. I'm not going to other regions. In this same region, I'm talking about credibility. What makes INEC credible? In this same region, elections have been conducted. Opposition took over the seats of leadership of the state from the incumbent. What did INEC did right? What did INEC did not do right? INEC was credible when the opposition took over. INEC, do you understand? So this issue of credibility.
But
now, when people, excuse me, let me just, when people, when issues are raised concerning the e-transmission, really, I do not want to delve into that discourse because it's still in the purview of the National Assembly. INEC does not make law. INEC does not make law. And I want to ask, look at any of the, go and check the provision of the law that INEC contravened in supposed areas where they may want to say this or that. Look at that area and then say, INEC, you contravene this section of the Constitution. As much as I know, there is nothing that INEC does without abiding by the legal framework that guides the operations of the Commission. CVR is ongoing right now. We did not start the CVR because we just feel people should be registered. The voter registration began as at when due to get eligible citizens registered and those who have issues with their PVC resolved. So when you are not talking about, I'm just trying to tell you that our activities are governed by a legal framework, Electoral Act, and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If you look at the election timetable that was issued, that was released last week, February 13 precisely, when the timetable was released, there were concerns, and then the commission.
Yes, we'll get to the election timetable.
Yes,
we'll get to the election timetable.
Yes, I'm just trying to say that election timetable was also released in accordance to the provision of the Electoral Act and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So, what makes INEC credible? I think if you want to look at it holistically, INEC
INEC is being upright in aligning with the provisions of the Constitution.
Yes, we know that INEC has been upright in aligning with the provisions of the Constitution, but we know that at some point, really, some of your officials, really, at some point, might have actually been compromising, really. We know that a lot of things happen from the polling unit, from the polling unit to the collation centers. A lot of things happen. I mean, we are all Nigerians and we are in Nigeria. We should not deceive ourselves. And a lot of persons are saying this e-transmission of results will go a long way to really remove whatever has been happening between the polling unit and the collation center.
Yes.
So, do you think we have the capacity as a nation, to have e-transmission of results?
Let's just trash out the credibility of INEC.
Yes, the credibility.
The credibility I'm talking about that is making people to be bashing INEC every time has always been the timing of the election, has always been the supply of electoral materials at the appropriate time, has always been the release of the results. That's why I said I've come here not to talk like a politician, or like a political scientist. I don't want to believe that the PRO of INEC has just closed its ears to the noise in town. The credibility I'm talking about that INEC has just got to improve upon,
Yes.
is just all that I've mentioned.
And I think it's more about the results.
Two, you need to get people well informed. You need to carry people along. You need to educate. And I don't know what National Orientation Agency, what's the relationship between INEC and National Orientation Agency. And I think they are also doing the best. At different occasions and at different fora, I've met with INEC officials. They have come to my office for an official duty, and I've said this at different times, that you need to get people along with your process. You need to get people well informed about the process. That will definitely increase perception. And the issue of apathy, I will give it to INEC. Once again, I want to give it to INEC. The last election the presidential election we had, it wasn't as much as that 25 million votes. But now, the last one was 25 million votes, and we're looking up to having 60 million, 70 million to 95 million people that are registered. So I have spoken like just one of those people out there that is having this misconception about INEC. You might be doing the best, but you are not communicating enough to the people. That's it. That's all credibility. On e-registration, everybody knows. Between Abeokuta, Sheun, Shagamu Road, there are places where you cannot find network.
No, that's why
people are just being misconceptions.
That's why I want him to respond to that. Because he is an insider, and for them to have come up with that idea in the first place, all of those things must have been put into consideration. Because I also am aware that there are some devices really that can be used to aid, transmission of things like that. So that's why I'm asking really, do you think we have the capacity as a nation, to achieve this e-transmission? So I'm asking, because now whatever the Senate or the National House of Assembly arrives at or agrees to do, at the end of the day, people might be emotional, might be sentimental, but the facts should be out there for us to be able to say, okay, they have done well or not.
Let me assure you that from our side, we will insist on conducting free, fair, and credible elections. That is one. Two, before we got to this e-rev transmission or whatsoever, don't forget that Professor Atayoru Jega, during his leadership, introduced the smart card reader. I'm telling you, if INEC is not interested in bringing sanity and making our electoral process to be credible, all of these innovations will not be introduced. Introduce smart card reader. Smart card reader, within this, the device itself runs as an operating system, and then there are SIM cards. Usually before an election, every local government would have been contacted, every electoral officer would have been contacted to make available the most viable network in their areas, in the wards, in that local government. A particular local government has 12 registration areas. Ado-Drota has 16 registration areas. So, and many other local government like that. And I want to tell you that within Ado-Drota alone, you can be, if you use motor, whether you travel by car or you are traveling by motorbike, you can be on that motorbike or in your car and travel for 2 hours within Ado-Drota local government. There is a place where we needed to go and conduct a supplementary election after because of some of these issues. Now, INEC remains committed to conducting free, fair, and credible elections, and then we will continue to bring on board innovations that will help us achieve that. Now, it's in the purview of it's in the discretion of the National Assembly. We are not lawmakers.
No, the question is
to
not,
say
the question is that the National Assembly members are not on the field for them to know whether this or whether you have access to the device that will make network available everywhere.
Yes.
I mean, your officials will be operating
Yes.
from. But I'm sure you must have, put that into consideration as at the time you were making that recommendation.
You see, even with the use of the smart card reader that uses SIM cards and works with the local network providers, as we still have issues.
Okay, but that
you agree with me?
That has been improved to beavers now. We no longer have the smart card readers. We now have the beavers.
We have the beavers.
And now the beavers record 90 to 95% efficiency. So that's an improvement. So what about the transmission? Is it not possible? I just want to get it from you. Is it not based on, being a field person?
Okay. Now let me. You see the way the IVED is configured. The way IVED is configured. It works online. It works offline. This is on record. This is, everybody knows that. It is not a, it's not a news. It's not a news. It works offline. It works online. So, we just had a by-election in Ogun State.
By offline, for people to understand, by offline, yes, you mean if there is no network coverage in that area.
In that area.
You can get it, you can snap what you want to snap, and it goes to a particular server, right?
Yes.
It stays there. Now, by the time you move to where there is network, it uploads automatically. To the iRev.
Yes.
Okay.
So, if that is in place, that is what INEC is doing.
Okay, I give you an instance concerning the by-election we had at Shagamu, Ikene, and Remonot. Owing to the demise of the occupant of that seat, and then to bring in another person to occupy that elections. The same, all of these things have been tested. Results were uploaded. There are officers called registration area technicians, technical support. Now, let me tell you, they are mandated, they can't leave that local government until the result get to the service. Yeah. Do you understand? They cannot. So, from our side, we want to ensure the credibility of our elections and want to ensure that our elections are transparent, they are free, and they are fair. So from our side, we have done our part. So it is not in the purview of INEC to say this, to say no, or to say yes. It's not within our purview.
Let me appreciate the PRO.
Yes, you are going to come in, but that will be after we come back from this very quick break. The program is still focused live right here on OGTV, the People's Daily. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back after this break. I still have my guest in the studio, and at this point, let us also tell you that you can be part of the conversation. The number for you to call will be displayed on the screen. Feel free to call us, and let's also have your thoughts. Now, maybe I should allow you to land on your point briefly before I ask you the next question, which is going to be on the timetable.
The credibility of INEC supposed to take almost about 2 or 3 hours. The program. We need to let INEC know that some of all, the past conduct of elections, there are so many skirmishes, and people come up with misconception over the intention of INEC. As rightly said by my brother, INEC has gotten intention, good intention to conduct free, credible and fair election. But at the end of the day, the conduct of their officials, I mean, has always been in question. Two, why is it that INEC would declare somebody as winner and we're now going to go through the judicial process to get results?
It means that the process is not waterproof. No, it is not waterproof. Humans can still interfere. But by the time it's difficult for humans to interfere, whatever decision is taken from Abuja, from the headquarters.
And I want to say that Professor Amukbuton, the chairman of INEC today, it's a well-learned person. And I see him coming up with programs, procedures that will change the minds of the people.
Talking about program of the Independent National Electoral Commission. I mean, another issue really that's also, it's also another issue that is causing contention. Really is the timetable that has been recently released.
Yes.
Independent INEC said February 2027 we're going to have the presidential election and of course the National Assembly elections. But quite a number of persons are kicking back, saying no, this should be adjusted. I mean, is it necessary really?
Let me on that timetable. Let's just give it to INEC coming up a year to the election. This is just in conformity with the provision. The electoral provision of section 28 sub 1, that to change the minds of the people, INEC has just got to come up with their intentions. They need to make it known to the people that okay, we come in elections, we are coming to do the best for you. That's just one of the steps INEC has just taken, coming up with a timetable a year, exactly 1 year to the presidential election. It's laudable and commendable. INEC.
How about the reaction that it's getting? Some persons are saying, oh, it's it will hit into the Ramadan, and so it will be wrong for us to be going out to go and be casting our vote during that period. I mean, do you think?
Let's just get it.
We've had elections in this country at some point on the day of Easter Eve.
Thank you.
That's
the point that I wanted to raise. But to let you know more about it, I want to see some people that are coming up with the reactions that are being mischievous. We've had, if FIFA organizes a match on the Ramadan time, people will come out to watch that football match. There's nothing bad in coming up to conduct election during Ramadan. It's just for one to move into the polling center, go through the process, cast your votes, and leave and get back to your house. In America, they used to do it. People will come from their workplace and go to the polling center and cast their votes. I see them to be mischievous. There is nothing that will. That's one of the reasons why I said INEC has just got to double up their strategy. There is nothing that will come from INEC today that you will not see one or two persons coming up to criticize it because of the misconception, because of misconstrue of some of their programs, and their intentions are very good according to my brother INEC PRO. Their intention has always been to conduct credible election. We are seeing the signs that 2027 election will be credible, starting from that release of timetable a year to the election. So it's a good thing.
There is a strong move really to to dance to the tune of those who are against the current date. As a matter of fact, the National Assembly are way into this, and then they are actually proposing having it earlier, than that 20th of February.
Yeah, you have forgotten that which will
actually be the first time we are having election that early. I mean, some persons are saying early February or even late January and the rest of them. Do you think we should?
Let me give you this instance. The instance that we are just being fortunate now to have Christian fasting and Ramadan for Muslims at the same time. At times, one used to come earlier than the other. If we have a case that, okay, if it's been shifted earlier, which is going to be January, I am sure it can be December.
Or early February.
Okay, look at the short period of that intention to shift it, and compare it with the fact that we don't normally used to have Christian and Muslims fasting at the same time. One at times used to come before the other. If Christian fasting comes up in January and Muslim Ramadan is coming up end of December, 2 days is not too. I mean, two days. 2 days. I mean, 2 days in the Ramadan or the fasting period is not too much for people to adhere to. Saturday is just one Saturday, and the other one will be next Saturday. I think you get my point.
Yes, we understand you. Yeah. So where do we go from here now? I mean, the program is, we're also costing them really. So where do we go from here now? INEC, trust issues, and the rest of them. I mean, where do we go from here?
Thank you very much, my brother. And let me assure the citizens of Ogun State, citizens and residents of Ogun State who have registered, who have gotten their PVCs and who are willing to participate in the 2027 general elections. There is no cause for worry. There is no cause for alarm. They don't need to panic. Now, perhaps some people think there is a polling unit or there are polling units on social media. As of today, there is none. Making noise or whatever you say on social media does not hold water. You can only speak, you can only demonstrate your franchise through your PVC. As of today, you don't have a PVC, you don't have a voice in the electoral process. That is that. And many PVCs are lying fallow in our offices uncollected. Is INEC not credible? INEC, do you understand? Uncollected PVCs are in our offices. More than 50,000 as of now. Accumulation of previous registrations, uncollected. They are in our offices across this state. And that figure, I just estimated it for this state alone, uncollected. These are much more salient issues that should bother us, that should bother the stakeholders.
Any strategy really in place to ensure that these PVCs get to the owners?
Let me tell you, there is no strategy than for INEC, and which INEC has embarked upon. More than ever before, voter sensitization, voter education on radio, on television has been more. In the last 1 year, I will tell you that we'll be more on television, we'll be more on radio across this Ogun State. In fact, we embarked on voter enlightenment, we've been to market, Kuto market, we've been there, Lafayette, we've been there, all across, and all of those things. We've been to Ikene, we've been to Remo, we've been to all of these places
across the state. So we have been doing this voter sensitization on radio so that people can be educated. How can people know if they, so we have been saying it. All we could do right now is to let people know that they need to go and pick up their PVCs.
Now,
they should get their PVCs.
Now, so I know that there is a continuous voter registration
Yes.
now. How has been the response, the reaction, the turnout of the people? Is it encouraging, really?
In fact, I must commend people, the citizens and residents in Ogun State, who have turned out to participate and take part for one issue or the other: voter transfer, PVC replacement, defaced PVCs or damaged PVCs. Can be all of these issues. The most beautiful part of it is that voter transfer, information update, PVC replacement, all of these things can be done in the comfort of your home without even having to get to INEC office. All of these things can be, you can do it in the comfort of your home. That is excellent innovation from the part of INEC, but we have not been commended for that. Yes. Do you understand? Now,
Thank you.
right now, when people, if you are coming up and then you have registered before, we are going to detect that you have registered before, and then we are going to nip that in the bud. So we are saying that we are ready to continue to conduct free, fair, and credible elections.
Good intention.
Do you understand? So, but we are not. Let Nigerians know that we are not lawmakers.
Yes, definitely. And I think even on this table, we have commended INEC. But what we have just said is that the process should be waterproof, should be watertight, so that your decision that you made at the headquarters in Abuja will remain till it gets to the remotest part of the country without any interference or any mischievous personnel or
PRO, the image of INEC.
Yes, sir.
Improve, do more on sensitization and do more on that, and you will get results. We've got good intention to conduct credible election, no doubt about it.
We must thank you sincerely for your time with us this afternoon, really taking a look at 2027 election timetable and overview. We thank you so much. We've been speaking with Mr. Damilare Ajayi, INEC Public Relations Officer, Ogun State, and of course, Honorable Sikiru Ogundele, a PhD, a politician. We thank you so much for your time with us. Yes, we'll continue to keep you abreast of developments as far as the 2027 election, general elections are concerned.